Welcome, everyone, to In the Spotlight on the Rosie and Bill Show. Joining me this week is an incredibly talented comedian with an unlimited arsenal of tools, all designed to make you laugh. His punchlines, impressions, facial expressions, and his legendary ability to dance are second to none. Please welcome to the show, Rich Aronovitch. Rich, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you so much. Thank you for your for having me on.
It is my pleasure, Rich. I have to tell you, I'm so excited because I understand we're going to be breaking some news here about a very special comedy special that's
That's right.
coming out real soon. And I want to get to that. But before we do, I
Mhm.
thought it'd be nice to give our viewers a chance to kind of get to know you a little bit, Rich. So if we were to turn that clock back to where things all began, when, how, and where did your journey in the funny business begin?
Well, it's a tougher question because I was like a baby at like 2, 3 that used to like lift up mannequin skirts and go woo woo, and then they would turn around or real skirts, and then they would see us look, and I would like be like, haha, making you laugh. But I really started in New Orleans where I grew up. It was 19 blah, blah, blah ago, and I was supposed to do there was like a guy who was doing stand up, and I was like, oh, I'll do that for the talent show, and then I didn't show up. I called in sick because I was like, I don't know how to do stand up. So I always wanted to do it. I had been admiring stand up. I'd been watching it on the late night shows, and I was outside of this place in New Orleans where they used to you watch movies, they serve beer, they had an improv group on the next theater over, and I was outside and they were on a break, and this guy, I'm making him laugh. And he goes, we have a contest. If you tell a joke and you win, you do 5 minutes to open for us the next week. And I was
Wow.
like, I'm in. So I told a street joke, I won the contest, and then I started doing stand-up comedy under the name Smooth Daddy Johnson because I was 18. And the guy that told me to do that was in the improv group was Dr. Ken Jeong, who's obviously from The Masked Singer and The Hangover, very famous guy now, and incredibly nice guy, amazing doctor too. He was doing his residency in New Orleans, so that's how I started. And then I was that's pretty much the start of the journey. And then I was doing it in New Orleans, and I was sort of like, this 18, 19-year old cocky kid thinking he was going to be a superstar. And then I went to school in Atlanta, and they had a comedy club where you could go on. It was like an open sort of mic sort of situation at the Uptown Comedy Club, which is urban, I think is all black audience. And I was going up as Smooth Daddy Johnson in my all white skin, and I didn't do well. I couldn't figure out why. So I got booed off stage for like 3 years, and it didn't affect me. And I had friends come and they're like, "Wow, how?" They like gave me a frosty. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get better. I just
Wait,
suck, you know."
you hung in there, Rich, for 3 years
Oh yeah,
doing that?
oh yeah, yeah. There has to be an unreasonable belief in yourself,
Yeah.
to last in this business. I think the quote is from Dan Natterman, but I think it says, "This business has no business calling itself a business," which is why I produce my own special. That's why I'm putting it out myself. I'm doing things on my own. That's why I like the dancing stuff to bring people into my social media world, which people
Hmm.
love that. And all of that is just going. The only thing you can control this business is your work ethic and how you treat people. The rest is kind of luck and right place, right time, and all that good stuff, preparation. So the stuff that I can control, I control. You know. The dancing thing has really exploded, and it really was done to. Oh, you wanted to ask me? Okay, I'll answer before you ask me. It was done to make fun of TikTok. My agent at the time, one of the guys I went to college with, challenged me to the TikTok challenge. Like, what is TikTok? I'm an adult. What is this? And the algorithm, looked at my mustache and was like, "Oh, creep," and just sent me like these like young girls in bikinis doing the dance challenge, which I thought was ridiculous.
Oh,
And to make fun of it, I put on a bikini, and it went pretty nuts. And I was like getting huge numbers. So I was like, oh, if I put on a different outfit, and it kind of morphed to me doing it in public and doing it in front of people and going to certain outfits like, the public library and the Scientology Center and like, just really inappropriate dancing. But like I'm so committed and think I'm a good dancer. So I'm so in it, like, and the reactions are really what's funny. Like people are either mad, they ignore, a lot of ignoring, like, or they think I'm crazy or whatever. So it sort of has a life of its own. But it's, and then to marry the dancing with the comedy, I when Jim Brewer tours and I'm in the area, he'll have me come out from the back and do like a sort of like a roasty thing in the outfit. I dance, I roast, I dance, I roast. Kind of like if Don Rickles could dance. That's sort of the idea. And so I did it the other day at the Paramount, and my foot got caught because I got on top of the chair. I started, my foot got caught, and I like tore my hamstring or I pulled it or something. But adrenaline, you just keep going.
Oh,
And then I got on the train. All of a sudden, my leg started to blow up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not walking for a couple of weeks. That's just good." But anyways,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. But yeah, so people, I get like, there's a lot of like, famous people, go like, hey, this is really funny, and they know me from that, and it's silly and it's stupid and it's fun, and then the stand up too, and I'm, those two worlds, they're kind of weird to marry them together, but I'm doing what I can. But stand up I've been doing forever.
And Rich, I have to tell you, your stand up, I saw you a couple months back at Soul Joel's, which I affectionately call the comedy capital of the world. And I have to tell you, the laughs and the energy were nonstop from start to finish. And even just and as you're describing things in this conversation, the energy is just off the charts. Where do you get that energy from?
Well, believe it or not, I'm not on drugs. So, a lot of people think I know. I've just always been, cursed, blessed with this exorbitant amount of energy. And yeah, by the way, big shout out to Soul Joel's. First time I was there. Hopefully, I'll be back. I love the room. I love him. I love everything about that whole venue. If you're in that area, you should definitely go. It's like he treats the comics right. It's all good. It was all a very positive experience. I definitely want to go back. But yeah, I don't know. Like I get on stage, your brain goes into fight or flight. Your mouth is doing better than your brain could ever. You just go, okay, I'll get out of the way. Mouth, you go. And then yeah, I don't have like a traditional act. I just sort of like there's a Rolodex of jokes that I'm sort of pulling from. So, but sometimes I try to get it more organized. But basically, I do best when I'm just sort of flying off the seat of my pants.
Yeah, but I'll tell you though, Rich, having seen it firsthand, I can absolutely tell you, folks, for those of you watching, when Rich comes to your town, you got him check it. You have to check him out because it really, really works. And all those things that I mentioned right at the top of the show are outstanding. So I now want to circle back to
Hmm.
that special that's coming out. I
Yeah.
cannot wait, Rich. So what can you tell us about the special? When, where, how? Give us the deets.
So I shot it at the Village Underground, which is part of the Comedy Cellar, which I'm in New York. It's the best club in the world, in my opinion, next to Soul Joel's. But in New York, it's the best one, and it's got, it's very celebrity heavy. They've got five showrooms, shows from 6 o'clock till 1 in the morning, like every night, sold out. And I shot it in that space. I did. What I actually did is I broke it up into two specials because everyone's like an hour's too long. So I was like, great, I've got two specials. So I'm going to release this one, wait some time, then I'll release the other one, and I'm pretty excited about it. Both I did. I'm very proud of it. It's a lot of years of culmination, and this one I was very organized for. But there is some improv in there, and it's I want to say it's pretty good. I'm very proud of it. So I can't wait to see what the reaction is. I'm probably gonna have to not read a lot of the comments unless they're positive, but the comments can destroy me. I'm like this, like I seem like I have all this confidence, but it does not take a lot for me to go, hmm, you know, one person to just deflate me for the day. But I also look, the dancing thing was, I continued doing it because I had this woman reach out to me and she said, look, my sister, she's not well. We don't know what's wrong with her. But instead of being sad, we're just scrolling through and laughing at your dance videos. And I just wrote her back. I was like, "Are you going to buy my T-shirt or not?" I mean, your sister has to pay up front. No, I'm kidding. There's no T-shirt, but really, the idea of like helping people really, became very forefront because I went, I don't care if this is smart or clever. It's silly, it's fun, it's goofy, it's not a lot of thinking, and it helps people. So that's it. I'm going to do it while people were freaking out, especially during the pandemic on both sides. Like, people were afraid and, there was all kinds of stuff, economically afraid, and we didn't know if
Sure.
business was going to get back. And, in a non-political way, I'm like, this is good for everybody. Um, so
Yeah, and Rich, I have to tell you, I can't think of a time when we need more laughter, more joy, more silliness than now. And I just really appreciate the fact that you're bringing it and you really are brightening people's lives. I think I laughed for 3 days after your show at
Oh,
Soul
that's nice.
Joel's. It was really phenomenal. I can't wait for you to come back. I can't wait to see the special. And you kind of said, like, you mentioned kind of the culmination of years of things. So, how much really went into making that? Like, how many years worth of work and like that process? Like, I'm always fascinated by that.
So I started many years ago. I eventually found myself in this comedy club, um, where there the dues paying process that I did, I'm very proud of because again, work ethic. So the first place I was at this comedy club. It no longer exists, and I would seat people and I would bring them their food and I would carry the garbage out the end of the night, which always ripped. So it means there were always garbage juice from your shoulder down to your
Ugh.
ankle every single night, and I made a whopping, drum roll please, $10. That's what I made for the night. They gave me $10 for the whole night. And what I would do so that the audience that I sat didn't realize that, and while they paid their checks, I would perform. So to real like to so I go, if they realize I'm the guy sitting them, they're never going to pay attention. They're going to know, oh, this guy's a new guy. So instead, while I sat them, I had a hat with a fake ponytail, and I had non-prescription fake glasses, and I would change shirts. It was like Clark Kent sat them, and then Superman was on stage. So that's how I sort of started. And then from there, I went to like this club where they had like 7 shows a night. Like one day I would hand out flyers in Times Square to get people in. It was like in the back of this. It was like they were going to do dueling pianos, but they're like, oh, we don't have anything else. I'm like, well, let's try doing comedy. And I was doing sketch and improv at the time, and we produced a show. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't we try stand up? And we went from like 1 show a night to 3 shows a night, and then it was Fleet Week, and we had 7 shows a night, and there was like 8 shows a night. So I was doing 7 to 8 shows a night, 6 nights a week for years to get good. So my comedy muscles, and these were not great shows. I mean, I had a woman throw up at me during the show, and the owners never took our side. So he like handed me a mop. So I'm like telling jokes and mopping while, you know, yeah. So like stuff like that, where you're just like, your comedy muscles get very big. So like when stuff happens, I'm, very prepared to deal with it because I've dealt with everything you could imagine. And so so it's years of that sort of thing. Then I worked cruises for years, which is not, cruises is what it teaches you is it teaches you how to be clean for 45 minutes, how to do the dirty show. It teaches you how to get a wealth of material because you have to be organized. So I couldn't work this magpie of a brain of mine. I had to sort of get organized and be like, this is the clean show, this is the dirty show, and then do that. And then I got, sick of doing that. So not that I hate cruises, but it's just, you're stuck with your audience. So you're
Yeah.
trying to, you're trying to eat and they're trying to give you jokes. You're like, okay, that sort of thing. There's like, no boundaries. So yeah, but then I got into the Comedy Cellar and I worked there every night and Gotham and those clubs, and I'm pounding the pavement and going to like good jigs like Soul Joel's and working out the longer sets and that sort of thing. So, it's years and years and years of like um, and the best thing about comedy is it makes it, if we're good at it, we make you think like we're just thinking of it. Like we're just coming up with this. Like there wasn't a lot of sculpting going on. It's like, oh yeah, I just kind of thought of that. And sometimes that is true, but there is a lot more behind, what's going on out of our mouths and out of our faces. And that's kind of what the special captures, I think. No, I know. I don't think I know.
I just have such an appreciation for your perseverance, everything you've put into what you do. And I just have one last question for you, and that is,
Sure.
what do you love most about what you do?
Oh, I love the traveling. Oh, I love when there's a delayed flight and you think you're gonna miss flight and you're on there. And then like we're sitting on the runway. You're like, I'm never gonna make this show. I love that. No, I love. I really love. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I mean, it is the best job. I love when I come up with a new bit, or my brain comes up with a new bit, or I improv a bit. It comes out of my face, and really the gift of serotonin and endorphins that people get. I know it sounds so cliche and so lame, but I'm being serious. Like when I did a show at the Performing Arts Center, and it was for the burn victim of that station fund where that pyrotechnics disaster, and
Mm.
to see people go from like just this woman was like, I lost my daughter, I was going to kill myself, and now like I feel like I can go on, and like that kind those moments where you go like, I'm not an essential worker, but there is some value to what I do. There is some helping that goes on. That's kind of the non-narcissistic, non-ego kind of driven that keeps me going, that fuels me, that goes like, this has got a different kind of purpose. People are in pain, we help relieve it, we try to take a little bit of it. That's where I love more than anything. And also like it feels really good. I talk, you laugh, like what a great life. You know what I mean? What a cool gig that is. Like and it's definitive too. You know if I'm good or you know if I suck because the audience tells you. I play a music. Ow, 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 ow. No, he was good. He was bad. We don't know. But I go, but up, but and then either they laugh or they don't.
Right.
And I
Instant
know,
feedback.
yes, not that every audience is the same and they have different sensibility. And like sometimes you do older crowds and younger crowds and, different political sensibilities. But I try to do a shotgun that gets to everybody in some sort of way.
No, absolutely. And I think I like what you just said, shotgun, because I remember that night you were at Soul Joel's. You hit everybody all
Yeah.
through the night with
Yeah.
laughs, brought the house down. I know that's special. So it's January 23rd. It's
21st. Well, no, 1, 2, 3. You're
21st.
right. 21st. No, no, 2, 3. You're right. 23rd. The Thursday, the 23rd. I
Okay.
don't even know my own special. I thought of like 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3.
Right,
That
right.
way, that way I can remember it, but I didn't remember it. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 on YouTube. Rich is funny. One word. That's how you find me on Instagram, which is not, drugs right away. It's Instagram or go to my YouTube, subscribe, follow. Rich is funny. I would love for you all to watch it. It is I find it very entertaining, and I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I made it, but we'll see what you think.
Well, I know I'm going to be a big fan of it. I can't wait to see it. Folks, that's Thursday, January 23rd. Rich is funny. Check out his YouTube channel. Subscribe when you're there. It's going to be a blast. I personally guarantee it. Rich, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing the
Thank
special.
you.
I look forward to you coming back to the area and doing this again sometime.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You got it. And folks, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
When did Borat and Kramer have a kid? You don't know the reference. You're too young. You're very nice. Did I model for every pizza box in this town?